Hi, I'm Father Joseph Mary, and welcome back to A Simple Word, where we reflect on the gospel for the coming Sunday. This Sunday is the final Sunday of the liturgical year. The Church proclaims an end of the year of grace 2021. And the following Sunday, a new liturgical year will begin with Advent. Another year has passed. The unknown day and hour approaches nearer for each one of us. We're closer than ever to standing before the Son of Man. On this final Sunday of the church year, we celebrate Christ the King. In John's Gospel, Jesus is standing before the Roman governor, Pontius Pilate. But why is Jesus here at all? Because the Jewish people were a nation occupied by a foreign power. The Romans allowed them a good measure of self-government, but they had no authority to carry out an execution. The ius gladii, the right to the sword, belonged only to the Romans. If the Jews were to carry out the sentence of execution, they would have simply stoned Jesus to death. This was the Levitical penalty for blasphemy. And in such a case, the witness whose testimony proved the criminal's guilt would be the first to throw the stone. But because the Jews were forbidden from carrying out an execution, Jesus would have to die a Roman death. And this is precisely why they bring him to Pontius Pilate. The Roman Empire stationed regional governors in areas of likely conflict, where the people might at any moment rebel and revolt. As a governor, Pontius Pilate was a gross failure. He had a contempt bordering on hatred for the Jewish people and their culture. And rather than follow his charge and seek to maintain peace, he had 3 times incited the Jewish people to violent protest. To put it bluntly, he was on very, very thin ice with the Emperor Tiberius. Any more revolts, and it would be Pilate's blood that was spilled. And so he's caught between a rock and a hard place. The Jews are trying to blackmail him into crucifying Jesus. They warn him, if you let this man go, you're no friend of Caesar. That they're reminding him of his tarnished record with the emperor. In effect, they're saying, you can't afford another Jewish revolt. Pilate's past had come back to haunt him. It was impossible for him to both defy the Jews and keep favor with the emperor. And yet it's so clear that Pontius Pilate knew the charges against Jesus were a web of lies. He knew that Jesus was innocent of the charges brought against him. Even more, he seems deeply impressed by Jesus. Pilate was not a religious man, but he was possessed of a superstition common to the Roman mind, and something in Pilate's heart warned him. Be careful with this man. There's something more here than meets the eye. And so he asked Jesus directly, are you the king of the Jews? In effect, he's asking, is the charge of blasphemy brought against you true? But Jesus refuses to answer his question, responding instead, do you believe I'm a king, or have others told you that? The dialogue makes it clear Pilate is not in charge of the situation. It's the beaten, scourged carpenter from Nazareth who's completely in command. And then Jesus says something which must have terrified the superstitious mind of Pilate. He says, I'm not a king as you think of kings. My kingdom is not of this world. In the heart of Pilate, there's a terrible conflict going on. Jesus says he is the truth. He tells Pilate and us why he came into the world. He came to witness to the truth. He came to tell men the truth about God, the truth about themselves, and the truth about life. And for this reason, we have to either accept Jesus or reject him. There's no middle ground. And this is a moment of ultimate decision for Pilate. It's the decision between the kingdom of this world and the retention of his power, or a complete surrender to the condemned criminal before him. You can almost feel the power of grace tugging on Pilate's heart. Truth is right before him. He knows what he should do, but in the end he fails. And his words seem full of sadness and almost despair. Quies veritas? What is truth? And with those words, he abandons Jesus. What about us? As we hear this gospel proclaimed, we have to ask ourselves the most important of questions. Who is the king of my life? Who is the king of my heart? Because every day we're faced with countless decisions. We have to choose a path, to the left or to the right. And in these choices, do we turn to Jesus? Do we seek first the kingdom of God? Because too often we don't. We seek our security. We seek worldly happiness. We compromise our morals. We choose what's easiest. We avoid suffering and we distract ourselves with our technology. On this Sunday, this feast of Christ the King, Jesus stands before the door of our hearts and he asks us a pointed question. Are you with me? Are you against me? Shall I rule over your heart as king? Because whoever is not with me scatters. Make no mistake, God will invade this world. To paraphrase C.S. Lewis, the king will return. And when that happens, the end will come. When the author walks on the stage, the play is over. When the end has come and every eye looks upon Jesus in glory, it's too late to make a decision. When he comes so beautiful and terrible, God without disguise, he will strike in us either irresistible love or irresistible horror. At that moment, it's too late to choose a side. That won't be the time for choosing. It will be the time when we discover which side we've really chosen. God's holding back. He's patient. He's giving us a chance to choose Christ as King. But this time won't last forever. We have to take it or leave it. Remember, the devil's greatest lie is tomorrow. I'm Father Joseph Mary, and thanks for listening to A Simple Word. If you found this reflection helpful, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. I want to invite anyone interested to accompany me this summer on a pilgrimage to the Holy Land, where we'll visit the places where Jesus and his apostles walked and learn in a deeper way the context of the gospel that we hear every Sunday.